What's going on? Wish I would have listened to myself. Wish I would just listen to myself. I wish I would just listen to myself. Oh, man. What's going on? Let's smash up those likes. Smash them up, smash them up. Smash them up, smash them up, smash them up, smash them up. Knock them back, knock them back, knock them back. What's going on? Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. Welcome to the weekly live stream. We do these live streams Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we've been on a 95-week streak. We've been almost going 100 weeks straight doing these live streams, bringing you guys the news, the juiciest news, you know, the meat and potatoes, as Ivan on Tech would say, you know, the meat and potatoes of the cryptocurrency markets. We're trying to get you the bleeding edge of culture here, and we hope you guys have been enjoying the show so far. And if you have been and you really like it, you know, we really don't charge for anything. You know, everything's free, but if you want to directly support the channel, just be evangelistic and share it with a friend, and you know, get them into learning about digital assets and kind of where you know, where the money's flowing. You know, we want to follow that white rabbit down the, you know, down the rabbit hole of liquidity here. So let's go, my friends. So welcome Trade Intuition, welcome Dave P, and welcome everyone who's just coming in. We're just getting started. We're only 3 minutes in, and we only had one coffee. Okay, one coffee. We've been doing two coffee live streams, and we start getting real ranty. And so we're one coffee today. We're gonna take it easy. We are gonna just go through some of the stuff that we plan that we want to talk about, and it's pretty much it. Everything is happening kind of par for the course here with crypto. We have everyone coming to the timeline saying that it is a bear market. It is over. Peter Schiff is on the timeline, gloating and in his bubble jacuzzi, just like filled with gold bars. And he is celebrating. FOMO is intensifying for gold. So as you know, big money and hedgers across the world have been flooding into gold as a global debasement trade since COVID, and basically since for the past 15, 20 years, to be honest. We're now seeing FOMO on gold. What does that mean? We are going to see a pullback because there's been institutions and nation states buying gold and BRICS buying gold for the past 10 years, and now retail's coming in to buy the top. So that's I feel like that's what's happening, and I think gold still is going to get a pump, but there's going to be a pullback, and I think that's when we're going to see crypto see the next leg up. But it's not going to come without its pain, which we talked about. We showed everyone, I think we showed you on the live stream, but more or less, like if you follow me on X, you would see where we called basically the exact price. I mean, to the dollar. It was ridiculous. And I didn't do anything about it. Again, I'm not trusting myself and pulling the trigger on just like, I could have put a short in and hit to the money and did a reverse take profit and then immediately have it reverse long on the money. I mean, it was like on the damn money. Only 94 people saw this. This is why I think it's atrocious that there's accounts like Ansem and other accounts that have hundreds of thousands of people, and they're normally almost mostly wrong. And I feel like I've actually had a pretty damn good track record of being right. I just don't take my own damn advice. It's insane. So it's insane. It feels bad, man. It feels bad, man, when you literally are calling perfect price hits and you didn't do anything about it. And not to mention only 94 people saw it. So you know, it's pretty atrocious. So, and I was even screaming on Jason Casper's live stream. I was like, 103. agree. So it was on the fib. I did this reverse Fibonacci pull from the bottom to the top of where we just had that resistance, and it revealed this price right here, this 103,498. It literally went to 103,477. It went right to the damn dollar. Look at this. It's insane. I mean, exactly on the line. That's like butter. That's like soft butter right there, my friends. So, but I mean, feels bad. It's because, you know, we didn't really do anything about it. But for some reason, feel like this is going to be a bull trap. That was a great bottom if you were to catch that, but you had to have a limit order in. That's why limit orders are actually really, really smart. If you can limit order and you got limit orders set in all these places, you could get stopped out in a trade right here, catch a limit order right here, and look, you just recovered your loss and you're going to gain some profit. So that's if you're trading this. But even then, you could even set limits for spot buying and catch these lows like this, knowing that these levels are being revealed by pulling Fibonacci extension levels. Fascinating. So this is crazy, my friends. And so what could be happening is we just, that was it. We bounce from here and we go up, or we get cooked into the level that we had been talking about, which is the max pain level. This is the IQ test of max pain that we talked about, which there's a lot of liquidity sitting here. Look at this liquidity from here all the way across. This is max pain here. This is where people are really going to, I mean, Peter Schiff might pass out from laughing. He might pass out from too much gold euphoria. And that Bitcoin just went to 100K from 126,000. That could possibly happen. So, but we need to know that is like mega support. But if we fall below this and we crack 100K and start going down, then the next high liquidity level that we're looking at here is 88,000. So I just wanted to give you guys the bearish case scenario, just the worst case scenario of max pain, which would be the IQ test of digital assets going into the future. Because if you're going to give up here, there's no way you're going to make it to here. Tendies zone. The tendies on, 200, you're going to think that everything is over and we're going to go into a bear market for 3 years. You're not ready for the tenders that are going to happen at this point. But welcome, my friends. Let's give a shout out. I don't know how many people are watching at this point. I don't care. I've lost interest in trying to, beg people to come or even beg YouTube to push this live stream. I'll come here and run my mouth regardless. All right, so let's check it out. This is what we're going to be covering here today. Today, we are going to be covering that's about all the TA you need to know. Gold is basically reaching peak FOMO. And we got a couple of articles to break that down. We're seeing still, I think, the results of the giant wick of Bitcoin going to 101,000 really fast. A lot of the times when those wicks happen and then we're starting to get a trail back down to it, I feel like there's still liquidity that wants to sit there and grab up prices, especially because we got all the legislation coming in. The same thing that happened with Bitcoin with the ETF and ETH with the ETF. We have Solana got approved for 21 shares, I believe, for Solana ETF, another ETF. So we have 2 ETFs now, spot for Solana. And so makes sense that like Solana just got cooked. They're going to buy up Solana at a low price to be able to service the ETFs, which is the same thing that they did with Bitcoin. They were like, we got to get Bitcoin like as much as we can at these cheap prices, and then to service the 12 different ETFs that we have for Bitcoin. So it all kind of times perfectly with these institutions basically buying up the lows while crypto Twitter is being gaslit and basically believing that, oh, everything is over, and they're not thinking about the macro long-term outlook of the digital landscape here. And this is what this live stream is all about. Well, yeah, I know the market makers watch us. I know this. I've trying to trade the market, you realize this, because you're like, for some reason, you're like, why is it every time I have this feeling that it's going to do this, but then you do the opposite a lot of the times, because the markets will make you feel a certain way, and that's exactly how the psychology works. And then they use that against you because they are the ones that are, like we explained in the last live stream, you have to be above the chessboard. Like, people order booking and trading against each other in PvP, and they're on the chessboard. They if they don't realize this, they have to realize that the exchanges are the ones up, and the market makers are the ones that they're seeing everything. They're the ones playing the ultimate game above you on the chessboard, and you're just getting bonked. And if we were to all be truly honest with ourselves, if we were to compare our actual P&L losses for the whole 3 years we've tried to trade against the actual profits that we've made, the spread's probably really terrible. And if we were to be honest, because like everyone uses different exchanges, we all use all kinds of stuff. So it's like, if you were to really look at the spread, it probably looks atrocious. We've probably just been broke even and also lost a lot of money. And but if you're spot buying and you're just DCAing in the dips and you're not selling and panic selling, being a panicking, then you've done a lot better. You've seen your portfolio go, and it's been like, but at the same time, that always outperforms trying to rotate, time the market, and also try to leverage trade. You usually end up getting cooked. And I've learned this lesson, and I hope you guys are going to learn it too, because the moment you think you're a genius, that's the moment that things like the Black Swan event happened on last Friday, and the entire market got cooked, even when you thought you were doing a safe 2x. You know, if you were holding spot and didn't even know that it happened, and then you looked at your phone, it really didn't affect you that bad. And that's the difference. And that should be an ultimate lesson of there's real places that you can really actually hold your money and feel a little bit more safer and protected, you know, when it comes to self-custody and not having to deal with exchanges. So, I mean, people got so cooked on Friday. I mean, it was so bad. And then not to mention, we have the blatant, like, I don't even want to get into it because we already talked about it enough. But yeah, we know that like Binance and CZ were definitely complicit in this giant crash. And so they're just trying to like basically backpedal and unravel and trying to make sure that they don't get fully exposed. And most of crypto Twitter basically were like, hey, we're genuinely asking questions that need to be answered. And instead, when I go to my feed, it might even happen right now. I wonder if I go to my For You feed, just go to home and look. Oh, look. And there you go. My point proven. I unfollowed your pop, okay? He has 252,000 followers on X, okay? And this is what's on my feed. I unfollowed him, and I don't want to unfollow CZ because I need to keep up with what he's saying. And this is what's on my feed. So I'm not interested in seeing this. I've already clicked those 3 buttons multiple times on those same posts, and I keep seeing them. So what does that tell you? It means instead of the lies that CZ is saying about influencers getting paid to FUD Binance, trust me, we're doing it for free. Who's paying? Jeez. Where's that happening? Yeah, we're doing this for free, CZ. We're doing this for free. I feel like more so it's probably on the other side. You're paying massive money in advertising to prop up and boost these posts. I mean, that's probably the facts. So, but that's just that's really frustrating. This is also frustrating. Holy crap. But let's look at this price action with basically the entire market. We got the market in terms of the altcoins still just getting smashed, getting really smashed. And it makes me want to look at Bitcoin dominance. Interesting enough, Bitcoin dominance is starting to look like it's going to go back to 60%. We were talking about this, that if Bitcoin dominance starts to trend back up into the 60%, like the altcoins are going to basically take a breather. And also possibly ETH could be taking a breather as well. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how we go into the weekend here. I am a little bit more on the side that we got a little bit more lows to go. Like there's probably going to be more max pain. I think we're really overlooking the damage that was caused, and we're just looking at like, oh, you know, I think that was the bottom, but there's some big accounts out there that have been trading the markets for a long time that are saying like, look guys, like it's not over. Like there's going to be a little bit more max pain. And it's not the fact that like some of the clickbait is like, oh, it's over, I'm selling my positions, but really these people are selling their positions because they want to get in stables to buy the dip whenever it hits a potential 200-day moving average. I'd bet if we put the 200-day on here, it's going to be like possibly on the let me see if it's on the weekly, it might be. Yeah, so we basically went below the 200-day moving average. It's usually not a good sign. And so yeah. But how are you guys feeling? I'd like to know. Let's do a check-in. Let's do a check-in with the chat. How are you guys feeling? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling bullish? Because I feel like we got so convinced that like, oh, this year's it. Like this is our only chance. And I feel like that's always false. That's always such a false observation of like, we get led to believe that every time there's something exciting or something, that urgency in the market, that this is your last chance. And it was never your last chance. We've always had opportunities through these 4.5, 5 years of being interested in crypto to just continue to accumulate. Yes, some things are down really bad, but let's be honest, if you accumulated mostly altcoins, your attitude is going to be a little bit different than someone who bought Bitcoin, gold, silver. I mean, did just kind of mutual funds and index funds and their 401k and IRAs and stuff like that. If you were just kind of just doing boring stuff, because let's be honest, altcoins give you a sense of euphoric dopamine hits and fun, and that's what we chase. Because we get bored in crypto, especially when you're a content creator, when you are an enthusiast, you get excited, and the altcoins are fun. DeFi is fun. We've gamified finance in a way that like that's all what like Pump Fund really was and is a gamified way to hit certain pathways in the brain that it just kind of gamifies it, And so Bitcoin is boring. You just buy it, you hold it, you just put it on a device, and it's like, and that's boring for people. People don't like to do that. It's boring. You don't check it. You just forget about it. And sometimes when you start to dive into crypto a little bit more, I think you start to discover altcoins. And I love the altcoin space. Like I really do. Like I love like discovering memes. I love discovering all this stuff and testing it out. But hindsight is 2020. And since 2020, ironically, is when we should have been paying attention to Bitcoin the most as an appreciating asset and gold at the same time. It's like you don't even have to be like a gold maxi and or a Bitcoin maxi. You could just be like, what's the best appreciating hard asset monies that big institutions and nation states are hedging into because the dollar's getting smashed and we're inflating everything? It's just buy those two. So you get this tribalism, and you have to be like, oh, my team Peter Schiff, or oh, my team, Bitcoin or Bitcoin maxis. No, I mean, you're just like, what's performing the best? We were seeing the AI craze coming up, and then we, as an instinctual intuitive trader, we should be thinking that, the world is going into data and energy and all this stuff, but what powers that? Well, they're going to need all these computer equipment. We're going to need all these chips. We're going to need all these metals. We're going to need all these resources to be able to power all these massive plants. So this could be right now still a forward carrying trade in the next 10 years of investing your money in those areas. And there's multiple ways to do it. And so that's how we can be forward thinking and not being so much in the trench and actually looking at real assets. And CryptoFace is learning this now. CryptoFace finally realized it's like, I'm tired of this crypto shit. He's like, I'm looking at the stock, I'm looking at the big boys, I'm looking at the AI, I'm looking at the things that are actually going to make me money truly over the next 5 to 10 years. He's kind of tongue-in-cheek joking, but also kind of serious. So it's like, at the end of the day, we're all in on crypto, but we really have to start to pay attention to like where the liquidity's flowing, And man, I mean, we really, us crypto people with the altcoins and looking at the gold chart, you really feeling cooked now. You're really feeling pretty sidelined. You're like, man, do we really? I mean, yeah, that's probably what we're thinking. What the F is what WTF is going on? And so that we're on the 17th day of a government shutdown, and the poly market is actually showing that this could be the longest government shutdown that we've ever had in history. One of them, when will the government shutdown end? There's another one that I think that it said, like, will this be the longest government shutdown in history? Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. Like it's a lot of stuff is bubbling up. We got Putin, Russia, America talks. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get the stimulus checks. Apparently we're pulling in all this revenue with tariffs, but where's it going? And the Trump family is boasting that they made $1 billion in crypto just this year. Only just $1 billion, Yeah, where is it? We're here. It's like, we just only made $1 billion. Yeah, Eric, we made $1 billion on crypto. Trump, mission accomplished. Son, time to nuke this. Yeah, Eric Trump announced World Liberty Financial stablecoin. Okay, no, that's all right. So yeah, no, I couldn't find the actual. I didn't have the post pulled up, but yeah, said he freaking made. They have made $1 billion in crypto profits. Do you think, guys? Do you think that the family or anyone who's in the White House and affiliated with the administration or government officials at all should be allowed to trade? I want to know what you guys think. Put a 1 if you think they should not be allowed to trade stocks and not be allowed to, especially stocks, these government officials. Put a 2 if you think it's a free market and they should be able to trade. What do you think? Yeah, because if they stop trading, that means the jig is up. That means the market's crashing. You know, if they're like, all right, yeah, we're done now. We don't need to. Yeah, that's like when the comet's coming. You know, better pack it up. Better start trying to find the underground bunker because, you know, if the jig is up, you know, they stop scamming the market. But the thing is like we know that's never going to stop, and it's just going to continue to probably get worse until it gets better. Hence the Binance stuff. Like we thought it was going to get better, but then it just got worse, and they did it even quicker this time. So then it could just be like brushed under the rug. Like we were so focused on, oh, is it going to recover? Then they tried to V-shape recover it, and then Binance was like, oh, like we're doing all the business practices, like everything's all cool, you know. And so it was very much kind of just swept under the rug, you know. No one got in trouble. No one goes to jail. No one gets scrutinized. There's no knocks on the doors. But all the while, the entire market got cooked. So it's interesting. All right. So, and you guys, the crypto people are probably wondering, like, what the heck is going on with gold? Well, apparently too, you know, we didn't know this, but gold is actually it has this different type of conductive properties to it. So it is being used more so now for certain types of manufacturing when it comes to the AI race and all this. So that's another factor. So you got to think like it's not just people are buying gold because they're scared and it's a hedge. It's also been around for thousands of years, so it's just kind of held its, you know, mind share of that in the world. Bitcoin's it's like a less than a quarter of the mind share of what gold is having right now in terms of like because no one's lining up to. No one's rushing to download a Bitcoin wallet right now. Like there's not a Bitcoin rush. So if there is a gold rush, I think we'll probably have a similar Bitcoin rush because there is a limited supply. There's not much to go around. And I think the exchanges are the main reason why Bitcoin is priced the way it is, and it's undervalued, and it's gonna get repriced to $500,000 a Bitcoin. And at a point, it'll eventually be then $1 million, I think, in the next 5 years. And that's a pretty good return, you know. That's still a pretty damn good return. And then gold is going to probably still do the same thing. It's going to just start crushing up. And silver. And probably just precious metals in general. But the beauty of Bitcoin is that it does have the limited supply. So yeah, there's 13 reasons why gold has outperformed stocks since the 2000s. So you're wondering, like, man, even just the stocks, you know, gold, if you were to just buy gold, you didn't have to worry about quarterly earnings. You didn't have to worry about, you know, layoffs or whatever, you know, a lot like you just like, okay, I'm going to buy gold. And so, man, it feels bad, man. Like just imagine, like you're just like, you focused on all this new tech. You're like, this is the new money, only to get sidelined by gold. And then the people that buy altcoins, you're like, I believe in the altcoin space. I'm going to get all these airdrops. I really will get my MetaMask $1,000 airdrop mask token. I really will. Only to find out everyone's doing just points reward systems. And then when you get an airdrop, it's like $1. And, you know, and you're supposed to just buy Bitcoin the whole time and gold. And you're sitting here with your like destroyed altcoin bag. That's literally down 100% from January. It's bad. I mean, no wonder the timeline of people are like, I give up, I quit. And then I made a joke and I said my wife's 401k that she had from back in 2022 outperformed my entire crypto performance for the past 3.5 years. Because guess what? Boring, didn't do anything. And I get a lot of it was probably, and there's probably a gold ETF in there. Terrible. Absolutely cooked, washed. So no wonder crypto people are giving up, but there is hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel, my friends. There's light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel, my friends. There is a pot of gold at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, because look at every time we've thought it was over, and every time we've at least like cooked back up into the red. That at least just gives me hope. At least gives me hope of the you know, the trajectory of Bitcoin, the trajectory of the total cryptocurrency market cap as a whole. You know, I feel good about it. It's just you have to be able to hold through the pain. You know, it sucks, you know. You know, we want to be bullish crypto, we want to be bullish ETH. You know, we made a joke. We posted this and it was, you know, I think we post pretty good content. I think we post pretty good content. You know, we make our own content. We don't like you know, we try to make our own stuff. In the name of all crypto soldiers, I demand we rally and send Ethereum to $5,000, because if we let gold surpass us in this pivotal moment, I don't know if we can take anymore. I don't know if we can take anymore. Because if gold ends up going to $5,000 before Ethereum, that's gonna be bad, man. I mean, that's gonna be really ridiculous. I mean, the fact that gold is literally about to get FOMO'd to $5,000 before Ethereum is just, that's just insane. It's just crazy. We got to do that again. We got to do, it's same percentage scale. Yeah. It's just, look at this. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad, guys. I mean, to be in crypto right now, you're so early, but also to get mogged by gold. Like, gold's just crushing it, and then ETH is just like, at this point, ETH went down 57% from November 2024. Gold went up. Gold has now gone up 69%, and ETH from the bottom luckily went up 200% from the bottom. Lord, I think that's correct. But man, pretty crazy. Oh, I think we have to do it like this. Oh, we messed the chart up. Yeah, it's just, it's wild, guys. When you really start to look at the things that we got convinced to buy and got extracted, it's just, it's atrocious. That's why I kind of think that the past 2 years have been an absolute kind of joke, like a clown show, because we've had so many extractions in the market, and smoke screens and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. And it's been tough, you know? There's no wonder that like crypto has a bad name. It's got a bad rap. It needs better PR. We're working on it. We're hoping that we can, you know, demystify the crypto space. We want to talk more about less trading and leverage trading and the false hope and narrative of the, you know, oh yeah, just, you know, no, we got to start talking more about self-custody, start talking more about, you know, what these companies are even actually using in the crypto space. and how privacy, here you go, headband, how privacy is going to be really important. That's why do you see all these privacy coins pumping right now? Because it's not just about American privacy, it's the entire world is having an issue with privacy. And so the issue is at a point where your entire country is about to mog you. Like, what do you do? Well, you're going to have some of your money on some privacy chain. And that's going to be happening all around the world. Oh, they actually have Pulse Chain on here. Oh my gosh. Are they even reporting the... Oh, look at this. They're actually reporting the correct market cap for Pulse Chain, for wrapped Pulse. No way. Is CoinMarketCap really doing this now? Stop it. What? No way. For the longest time, my friends, this is actually really cool. This is a step. Pulse Chain was gate kept for a long time on CoinMarketCap. So now when you type in Pulse Chain, oh, is this wrapped Pulse Chain? Okay, wrapped Pulse Chain. Is this being represented on like the DEX or something? Because when you type in Pulse Chain, it doesn't show you this wrapped Pulse Chain where it shows you the market cap or like the volume. This one, the market cap, I don't know if it's correct. It says it's, and then also what's interesting when you see, this is why I think CoinMarketCap and see, you got to remember Binance owns CoinMarketCap. Binance owns CoinMarketCap. They bought them a long time ago for an undisclosed amount. Okay? Which means they are showing you what they want you to see. So Pulse Chain is 5,574th ranked. But why is it ranked at that if the market cap is at 422 million? And then the same with Hex, PLS Hex, and Incentive. So if we were to go to the rankings of CoinMarketCap and go to, you know, like the fifth page or something like that, we got 71 million. You know, okay, so now let's go, that's too far back. We'll go to like the third page. So it should be in the top, it should be right now in the top 200. So that's where it actually should be. So why is it in the 5,445th spot? It's a pretty genuine question, and it's always been like that. So it's like it's being gate kept on there. So if for some reason, so I find that fascinating. And so we do want to point out the fact that in crypto right now, there are ecosystems out there, and it's not just Pulse Chain, you know, like there's a lot of DeFi that is at the absolute bottom, and you would be massively early if we do get an altcoin season, which is funny to say at this point because we know what we're looking at here. You know, you might as well put a clown nose on me, spinny cap lollipop, the whole thing. So, but when you're buying the absolute bottom, how much more can it go lower? I mean, how much more can it freaking get any worse? So that's kind of how you have to think about it when you're going into these ecosystems like Pulse Chain. Like Pulse Chain from the sacrifice price has been perpetually going down. We've maybe had a little couple spikes where we've had some, you know, some things like different, you know, Richard Hart winning the case, Richard Hart kind of coming back on the timeline. Then we've also had bearish stuff happen. So this community's been through a lot, but now it's also at the actual absolute bottom, represented by the incentive token. Incentive was giving out massive yield, and if you were farming at the early days of the Pulse Chain PLSX farms, you were just like getting literally $10, $20 an incentive token, like insane prices up here. I think it got up to like, yeah, $22, almost $30, almost close to $30. And then you can see the moment that like things kind of just start to get cooked in the market as altcoins as a whole got cooked and nothing looked good for altcoins, you can see it got destroyed. It got smashed. And you can see this represented in PLS. So it's at the absolute bottom. So that's really what you want to be. So if you're wanting to have the most asymmetric upside right now in altcoins, you need to be finding something that isn't overvalued, essentially, because that's what people are doing right now with gold. People are rushing to go buy gold at the absolute top right now instead of finding stuff that's at the absolute bottom. And so that's the difference of how you're really going to be able to potentially, not guaranteed, either lose all your money or really make a damn good return, something like a 20x or more, buying something that is at the absolute bottom, that does have a unicorn narrative built around it. And that's also the same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a unicorn narrative built around it that it is going to be the world hedge currency against everything. At least that's what the maxis would tell you. And then that's why you should only focus on Bitcoin. That's always their argument is like, if that's the case, then why would you not put your money in, why would you put your money in anything else? All right. So speaking of gold, we're going to get into the 13 reasons why gold has outperformed stocks, okay? A haven during uncertain times, geopolitical disagreements, the Federal Reserve. More than half a century now, the price of gold has increased in part as a hedge against inflation and poor U.S. monetary policy. The U.S. dollar purchases 16% of what it did 50 years ago, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Its purchasing power would be more than 100% if the dollar was still backed by gold. Inflation in the US dollar. In 1980, gold averaged roughly $615 an ounce, while the median home price in the United States was roughly $64,000. Dang. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, the median home price is $422,000. The median home price means the average price, while gold traded at almost $4,200 an ounce on October, according to Yahoo Finance. So in 1980, it took roughly 100 ounces of gold to buy a new home. The same is true today. Clearly, investing in gold has preserved and increased wealth. The same cannot be said about the US dollar. And then imagine if you were to have bought and held some Bitcoin at any point in its Genesis days, before, like if you were to have been buying any Bitcoin and you managed to keep the keys and hold some of the Bitcoin at any points, like at these points, like before 2016, like at any of these points in the blue right here, if you had any of this Bitcoin and just managed to at least try and hold it to all of these different points here, maybe you shaved off a little bit, maybe you like could not help yourself, but that's the thing, and look, from 2016 to that's like our first, like one of our first altcoin seasons that we had was around in this time. But before then, it was just like, there was only a few cryptos around, it looked very different. But man, I mean, you just think about it, like, gosh, just the amount of wealth and liquidity that you could be moving around if you were to have just been like, just think to yourself like this, even just one of them, even just one. Oh, central banks. So I learned all through this following the government and the legislation of how the federal banks operate in the United States. There's 12 Federal Reserve Bank districts. There's like one in Texas. There's one in Florida. There's one. I think, I mean, there's like, it's all in the different districts. There's like 12, I think there's 12 of them. And they all are servicing their district in the banks. And that's where like the banks are getting their money from, the printed money, who's issuing out the fiat currency. And so, they all also hold gold certificates or like gold bonds, like these like federal gold treasury bonds or something like that. And they're trying to, there might be this thing happening where BRICS thinks they're going to be like, you know, having their gold, you know, gold rush, their gold heyday. But what if gold ends up getting priced at a certain point, and then we sell our gold certificates from the Federal Reserve Bank and end up buying Bitcoin instead? And so what is that going to do to the gold price? I have no freaking idea. But Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming has talked about this and has kind of led us into start to thinking like that's probably what's going to happen. Why are they doing this? And also, why did we stop the audit on Fort Knox? We had all these butter ups, Epstein files, Fort Knox, peace deal, stop the war. Like with you, try and stop the war with Ukraine and Russia. We're getting the Middle East, but I mean, it's like getting a little tense here. I mean, so we had all these butter up things. Some of them are actually happening. We were promised Ross Ulrich, free Ross, Gary out, no more Operation Choke Point. But where did the audit go for Fort Knox? It was like they had the cameras. They looked like they were about to check it, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it was crickets in Ghost Town. So where's the gold and what happened? So do we have actually more gold? Do we have more gold than we thought? That'd be funny if we were like, everyone thought the gold was gone, but like, no. We have more gold than you could ever imagine. And we're about to dump it on BRICS' head to then buy Bitcoin and do a Bitcoin reserve currency for the United States to then re-strengthen the stablecoin super cycle. And then your head goes, and it spins and you're like, whoa, that might be the damn 12D chess move that we're about to do on the world. Do you see now? Do you see now what's happening here? Holy crap. But I don't know what's going to happen with gold. I don't know what's going to happen with gold. I don't know if it's going to like dump and then get repriced back up. Like I don't know, but I think this might be what our government is doing. Because how else can we beat the world? You confiscate enough Bitcoin, you mine enough Bitcoin, you figure out how to get the legislatures to get onto the Bitcoin reserve. You get gold to get up to a certain point. You don't tell anyone how much gold you actually have. That's why we didn't just say, oh, you think we're going to tell people how much gold we have in the fort? Absolutely not. We've confiscated and stolen everyone's gold. So, yeah. And so now we're going to dump the gold. This is just my theory. We're going to dump the gold and then start a brand new system on a Bitcoin reserve. And literally have more Bitcoin than all the countries. And guess what? Guess who's part of that mission? Michael Saylor. I bet Michael Saylor is the government insider of accumulating Bitcoin, and he is the smoking gun. I just had a breakthrough. Holy crap. This might be the biggest 12D fake out we've ever seen. Holy crap, guys. Holy crap. Whoa. We got to keep going on this rabbit hole because this would be a great video to make. And I'll get my tinfoil hat and I'll wear it while we're making the video. But man. Woo. Yes. Look, do you see this woman's face? Look at her face when she talks about it. Let me search for Senator Lummis on my page because Lummis. What do you think they're... Look, Senator Lummis reintroduces Bitcoin Act bill proposing 1 million BTC purchase over 5 years with a 20-year minimum hold. Okay? I want to find... And then... Gold certificates. Oh, I hope this is it.
The other thing is the proposal that I have and that President Trump has discussed about a strategic Bitcoin reserve or strategic Bitcoin stockpile, where the United States would acquire and hold Bitcoin for 20 years. Because of the way that Bitcoin has been appreciating since inception, this would be an asset that could help shore up the US dollar as the world reserve currency and serve as a reserve that could be used to reduce the national debt significantly. You know, the American people are still hurting from inflation, from high prices. And they want the national debt reduced. These are ways to do it with an asset that is immutable, can easily be held by the federal government in a variety of vaults, and that states can participate in as well. So this is the gold standard digital asset, and a strategic Bitcoin reserve is the way to embed it.
You know, we got off the gold standard a long time ago. My question is how much you would spend tax dollars at a time when we're talking about trying to reduce costs. How much would you spend on Bitcoin as part of this reserve?
We wouldn't have to spend any new dollars. We have reserves at our 12 Federal Reserve.
Yes, this is the video. This is the video. Thank the Lord. I'm so glad I found this video. Oh my gosh, I gotta bookmark this. Thank you, Marty Party. I gotta get Marty Party on the show. I've got to get Marty Party on the show. He really covers the true data and the things that you should be paying attention to and where the liquidity is going, the fraud. And I just, love it. But yeah, this is what we're talking about.
Banks, including gold certificates that could be converted to current fair market value. They're held at their 1970s value on the books, and then sell them into Bitcoin. That way, we wouldn't have to use any new dollars in order to establish this reserve. The United States already holds over 200,000 Bitcoin in the asset forfeiture funds. So that would be the initial source of Bitcoin. So no new money spent on this reserve.
We're gonna get the whole world to be bullish gold. We're gonna get the whole world to FOMO into gold. And then we're gonna sell our gold certificates at the market top. To buy Bitcoin. And start a new digital economy based on sats. I know the plan now. I know the plan. All right. Oh my gosh, guys. This is something. This is something. We really need to start to pay attention of what is happening here. This is wild. Glad I found that. Holy moly. Okay, in other news, we're going to keep going down the news a little bit. We got about 3 minutes left, and then we're going to end the live stream. So, like we said, Solana has a spot ETF approved by 21 shares. So now, on the Farside Investors board of ETF flows, we have Rex Osprey, and we're gonna have 21 shares. And if you remember, look at Bitcoin and look at 21 shares. Is 21 shares on here, or is it ETH? Is it ETH that has 21? Oh yeah, it's ETH. I thought 21 shares had a Bitcoin ETF too, but I guess it's just Ethereum. So, but I'm just giving you an example of how much like 21 shares inflows into their Ethereum ETF. Because it's also gonna have staking too. So let's see some prior data. Can we go back to all the? There we go. So 21 shares. Dang, they were just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Weren't flowing in anything. Nothing. Holy crap. Man, it was just BlackRock. All year, it was just BlackRock acquiring for the ETF. Dang, they just weren't doing anything. They haven't done nothing. Has it all been BlackRock? Pretty much. Yeah, the ETHA and Fidelity. It's really, I mean, but in 21 shares and flowed in nothing. So, I mean, I don't know. Well, let's see if they're going to flow in something. Yes, the dollar is a meme coin. It is a crap coin. Like, if you're going to compare it to gold and Bitcoin. We think that the dollar is actually going to go down here. And this is when the stablecoin super cycle is going to be activated. And this is where Bitcoin is going to be at past 200K, is down here. This is where we're going to have altcoin season. We don't get altcoin season and blow-offs until until we get the dollar down in this area. Dollar is going to get cooked. Gold's going to get... And Headband says, I bet if you bought more ticker Bitcoin, you become rich. Well, my wife said I can DCA a little bit more today. She said, you can DCA a little bit more cash today. I said, thank you. And so we'll probably, because look, if you're gonna buy stuff and you're DCAing, you might as well buy the stuff you like that's getting cooked. So Zara right now, I'm definitely interested in Zara. I think if there's going to be something early in a cool narrative like privacy, then Zara seems to be, if you're going to buy something massively early. But if you're into privacy, you can go like, hey, I'll get some Zcash, I'll get some Rose, I'll get some Monero, any of the ZK, knowledge stuff. I don't know. I think there's another one called 2.0 or something like that. I don't know. There's a few of them, but this one's massively early. DCA into that, or there's some things. I need a DCA into my stomach though, because holy crap, I am so hungry. My stomach is growling at me right now. I did not eat any breakfast. My stomach is like, whoa, 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 whoa. But yeah, Monero is in this very interesting pattern. It's in this like swoop. I call it, it looks like an uneven butt cheek. You know, you got the skinny butt cheek right here, and then you got a big butt cheek right here. And if you're looking at this, like, yeah, it's definitely big butt cheek. It's like, you know, the cottage cheese thigh, uneven butt cheek. Sorry. But yeah, it's looking like that. Target $1,000 Monero. When Monero is at $1,000, that might be the signal of the bear market starting. Because everyone is like, okay, we have to have a place to have our money now private because they're going to come and try and take it from us. And so how can we preserve it? How can we move it around? I don't know. We'll have to see. It is interesting though that we had, while all the altcoins were getting cooked, the privacy coins started to pump. Zcash started to go insane. Look, Zcash was bleeding into Bitcoin for years, and then decided to cook right back up into its bull market 2021 all-time highs. Like, what? Literally, and then in a week, just massive, like two green weekly candles went up 164%, and then another 57%. Like just imagine, like, this is how why people feel so cooked and washed and have post-traumatic stress. Yeah, I mean, we could go down the list of all the things that we've been rug pulled on or just bamboozled on. The president's own meme coin, all the way back from a couple years ago, going into Terra Luna and all the exchanges going belly up, and then we get convinced to buy all these altcoins. You know, we go, oh, Mantra looks cool, that gets rugged. You know, like, and then we get. We get these privacy coins going up like this while everything else is just looking like crap. So no wonder people feel the way they do. I mean, no wonder. It's just... Okay, Crypto Hyro saying double bottom on Brett, 15-minute chart about to break out, bro. Put that long in. All right, let's see. I want to see it. 15-minute? Let's see the 15-minute. 15-minute double bottom. Oh, yeah. Okay. Almost like a triple bottom. It made a higher low on these. It's tested that resistance there. And if we look back here, we can see that if it does get supported from these prices, then we could get a 17% move to the upside if it matches with any moves on Ethereum. This usually follows Ethereum. Obviously, its pair is in pair like in its liquidity pool is in wrapped Ethereum on base. So we'd have to be like parallel watching Ethereum along with it to see how. Because look, you see how ETH is trading up, trying to test up into this support. It's kind of the same thing. It's like the same thing is happening. And look, and then when we've had ETH support right here, look at where it pushed it up. So And yeah, I guess let's see the fear. Let's see. Oh yeah, there is fear. I mean, I guess so. What we have to do, guys, it's really tough to do this, but we've learned over time that actually the fear and greed index is actually a really great metric of buying and selling. It's one of the basic things that we always forget about, but it really does track the sentiment of how people are looking at the markets. And so if we have fear right now in the most bullish framework that we've ever had in crypto, then this is the time to buy. And whenever we start to get in the massive euphoric greed portions is when we need to be shaving off and hedging into stables. Because we've seen every time we've gotten into that greed portion, we get a cook-off where we get a little cooked and we go back into neutrality and fear. So, but we could also use it as a way of dollar cost averaging to where it's like, okay, we are going to DCA in the fear and we're going to, look, everyone's situation is different. If you got things to pay for, maybe you want to maybe you just want to take a family trip, man. You just want to pay yourself. You've been DCAing long enough and you see some profits, you shave off a little bit. You do that in the greed. You do it in the greed, you know? Better do it in the greed than in the fear, because mostly in the fear, that's probably when the market's going to be a little down. So yeah, you DCA the fear 100%. And Crypto Hyro makes a good point. Like I also had I just don't even want to think about it. I had such a good Ethereum long in right above that Hyro. I think it was at like 1700 or something like that. And I totally just like washed myself on that trade. It was such a good entry. It was such a good entry. It was monumental. Monumental. But yeah, it looks like we are getting a nice bullish test. So we did get a bullish divergence. Looks like we got more of a bullish divergence here. Dang. Yep, bullish. Man, we missed that on the 15-minute. That would have been a key look at a type of bullish divergence happening. Yeah, it looks like everything's rebounding, but I just don't want to get faked out, guys. Like this could be such a, this is what they do. And like, I want to look at the liquidity max pain right now, because this is like theys, you know, the Illuminati in crypto. So always people ask you like, who's the they? All right, so Bitcoin max pain on longs is at 104,388, and there's a lot of them. But the max pain on shorts, which they're probably clearing out right now, is at 108,147. So if that's the case, 108,477, they're going to probably push it up and to snatch up this liquidity right here on the purple line. And then they're going to probably, oh my gosh, yes, holy crap. Yeah, let's go. The saint of all crypto wives just brought me some food. She heard me say I was about to die in here, so literally a saint. Yeah, so more so than them pulling it down to 104 to liquidate the longs, they're gonna push them up here. And this is probably my best case scenario here, is they're going to get you up here, get you excited, and then they're gonna bring it right back down to this level to smash you, and then they're going to push it back up to catch the liquidity up to the upside. So just don't get caught off guard if you're gonna try and long the FOMO here. Because it could totally just catch you off guard. So watch it. All I gotta say is just watch it. All right, my friends. I think that's it. That's all I wanted to cover today. Yep, I think that's pretty much it. Check the bookmarks. Oh yeah, well, let's play this. Like I said, most bullish framework we've ever been in crypto, but the worst sentiment of crypto people ever.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that crypto's time has come. For too long, the SEC has weaponized its investigatory subpoena and enforcement authorities to subvert the crypto industry. That approach was not only ineffective, but injurious. It drove jobs, innovation, and capital overseas. American entrepreneurs bore the brunt and have been forced to spend fortunes on building a legal defense instead of a business. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that crypto's
There you go, headband. What is this NFT? You got the eye of horse right there. I like it. And are those your Suko monsters, or what is it? Suko monsters? Yeah. Thank you for the Sprotos reposting and the Aussies out there. Mario Nafal is currently having a partnered show with Litecoin.
Price action isn't everything, because there's a ton of innovation. There's a whole Litecoin meta that's going on right now. So that price doesn't faze me.
The superstitious sports fan in me accepts that green will absolutely work. You're going to be the candle we need, man. Zane, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah. No, it's you drive yourself crazy if you look at the price constantly and live and die by that. So you just have to roll with it.
Well, the price is the only thing we can't control, right?
100%.
Unless you're a shitcoin, then you can control price.
or if you're Binance.
Shots fired. That's absolutely. I'm going to come back to Rock on that one because I've had opinions about that one all week, man. I'm going to get you in on that. Alan, how are you doing today, man? Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. Yeah, I did look at the price, but it's just another day, right? You can't have ups without having downs. So we just move on.
That's the thing. I would love to. I'd love to go on that show, but man, Mario Nafal always gets the opportunity to do these partnered shows. Do you know what that means? He's getting paid to do it. I'm like, oh, I'll figure it. I'll get it. I'll figure it out one day. No, but it's all jokes aside. We just think that it's crazy that the X algorithm sometimes is just like, oh. It's almost like you gotta beg, or it's almost like you gotta start to, advertise. You gotta advertise. You can't just expect people to just to see it, because sometimes that algorithm will not put your posts out there. You gotta remember it's an AI. It's not a human. It's an AI that's deciding this stuff. So, and they're brutal. AI is brutal. AI is relentless. If they don't think your stuff is functional, they will say, you are no longer an asset to this community. You no longer make people laugh. You will be eliminated.
I was taught these are the days that are for building, is what somebody told me. So I guess that's what it is, Buzz. Isn't that what we're supposed to say? Is like builders build in times like this?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to do when the price is down to distract yourself is definitely build. But I mean, we've seen this time and time again, right? Like when the price went down in 2018 era all the way to 2020, the builders who were building during that phase and were building great projects did very, very well in the 2021 bull cycle. So I think that's just a tried and true analogy. But that's what I'm doing today. Just keep my head down.
That's definitely the best thing to do. And that's also a good observation that it takes sometimes years for things to manifest. I definitely learned that with game spaces and stuff like that, that people say they're working on a game. It's not coming out in the next 3 months because games don't happen that fast. Charlie, what have you learned about patience? Because that's something a lot of people are talking about on days like this. What would you say to that word today? What about patience in times like these?
Well, I always tell people like it's the crypto is really volatile, right? So if you're just looking, if you're tracking the price every day, you're gonna go crazy, right? So I think everyone agrees long term it's gonna go up, but short term it's anyone's say, right? What happens? So like, yeah, just think about the long term and not about worrying about the day-to-day short-term movements.
Charlie, do you ever find yourself looking at gold and silver charts?
Sometimes I do track gold and silver. Yeah, but not as much as crypto. But they're doing well. I mean, it's incredible.
I only just broke down the whole crypto crazy insane thesis on gold and silver and how it's connected with crypto.
Go ahead, Brock.
No.
Thanks,
No,
Buzz.
I don't know.
The gold chart, I have to say, I don't want to scare people in the audience, but the only thing I could keep, I think, every day that I see it, and I hold a good amount of physical gold for many, long time, over a decade, but the gold chart is scary. I mean, to me, this looks like some kind of breaking of a system.
Macro reset, right? There's something going on in the world that we don't understand or isn't come to light yet. Like just how strong it is, and I think it speaks to the strength. I think Bitcoin and Litecoin will get the benefit of that too, but it is scary.
Well, Trump said he was going to go verify the gold in Fort Knox. Maybe they didn't see it and they had to buy it all back. Maybe that's the handle that's got Rock. Hey, I've seen conspiracy theories, Rock, on the timeline. You're not the first person to say that handle worries you, right?
I explained it on my live stream. You freaking... Oh... They're not going to tip people. This is what I think. People think the gold's gone. They like, oh, there's no gold in there. Guys, there's more gold in there than they're telling us. They have more gold. We're thinking they don't have it. I think there's more in there than we're being told. Think about America. We confiscate stuff. We take stuff. We don't buy stuff. If we were like, yeah, we want that, and we're gonna. So think about it. There's a lot of gold, and they're about to dump it at the highest prices to buy Bitcoin, sir. And then they're probably gonna buy Litecoin, because if they're going to add that into the treasuries and they're add that in the 401ks, why do you think Trump set up it's an executive order? It wasn't just he was like, oh yeah, guys, by the way, you can do it. No, it's an executive order that 401ks have to have crypto exposure. It's an executive order. Why do you think he did that? See, everyone is on the timeline trying to they're like, oh, over here, oh, this might be what's happening. No, pull it all together like an ADHD crazy person, and you'll figure it out. Because then you'll realize how this is all correlating and happening for a reason. And why you should be so damn bullish and stop getting cooked by the noise. And you'll listen to these guys on this podcast. And they're like, and they're respected, and they're like, well, I don't know why. I wonder what we seem to have no clue.
Building within the ecosystem. It's not just LitVM that's building, for smart contracts. However, we have a very unique way of doing it in a trustless manner. But there's all these wallets and different payment providers, and there's a ton of overall success across, all the metrics. And so I think altogether, I think you see this as kind of the Litecoin meta, and it's only getting stronger and stronger. There's a lot more participants that are joining in or wanting to join in some way or build for Litecoin. They just haven't really announced it yet, but here at LitVM, we are talking to other teams that want to build really innovative things as well. So there's and other institutional partners and all that. So there's a lot more coming, and I only see in the next 5 years, Litecoin growth is going to be staggering.
Yeah, I'll add too. I mean, Litecoin is been around for 14 years now, and the network's never been down. In fact, it's the longest running uptime in crypto. So I think you've got this kind of old school reliability and trust that meets like new school additional interest, and I think that's kind of a really good combination. We have this 14-year-old network with zero downtime, now becoming the foundation for people that are interested in building on top of it. So I think there.
That was me on the CZ when I CZ and BNB were all over my timeline. That was me all day. I was like this. I was like, I could not help it. I was like literally. I was losing my mind. Well, all right, my friends. All right, we're gonna end it before we go crazy. Okay, if Bitcoin crashes under 100K this month, I'm selling my home, car, first edition Charizard, wife, both kidneys, and dog to full port. Oh no, is this the poly market now? Yeah, there's a 52% chance we're gonna go to 100K. Oh no. What price will Bitcoin hit in October? You can bet on for 200K. Oh my gosh, there's a 42% chance that we're going to be going down to 100K. The market is telling us right now. 95 is a little pushing it, but I'm telling you guys, they're gonna max paint us. You don't think they're gonna do it? You think they're gonna give us this chance? No, they want more Bitcoin before we go into the massive reset of the entire financial industry. And you think they're just gonna give it to us right now? Come, give me a freaking break. Give me a freaking break. Get ready for max pain, my friends. Don't think it's not coming. Okay. It's called Moonvember, not Pumptober, all right? This is going to be possible max pain. Yeah. Woo. Not looking good, my friends. But we got to stay strong. We got to stay vigilant. We got to keep pressing on, all right? Got to keep pressing on. All right. Well, all right, you 5 lunatics that got left in the crossfire of my crazy live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in. We cover all the news. We cover the sentiment and what's kind of happening in crypto. Yeah. We try our best. But we really do appreciate you guys coming in, chatting. Shout out to Trade Intuition for coming in early, and to Dave, and to Crypto Hyro, Headband. Thank you guys. Thank you to Ozzy. Yeah, max pain before max gain. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you again for tuning in. Make sure you share this live stream. Make sure you repost it. We're still battling shadow banning. We're still, you know, battling the algorithm on X. Tiffany Fong made a brand new X channel and in just 1 month already got 3.4 million impressions, showing that I need to just be a Chinese woman. I just need to be an Asian woman on the timeline and make a fake Asian lady account that's into crypto, and I might just break the algorithm. Or something that looks like Annie, the XAI companion. I don't know. I'm thinking of some things. How to break through. But thank you guys. All jokes aside, we really appreciate you. We love you, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit HPON.